Okay, everybody. Sorry, I just had to start something else. I got AI doing stuff in the background. So, just want to let you guys know that we are launching a bunch of new stuff here for helping you develop your deals. But what's important, and what I'm kind of seeing with some of you, is it's great to be of the mind that I already know what I'm doing and I've been doing it, and that's great. Except if at the same time you're not bringing the deals, I kind of question that. I got to be honest. I've had a couple conversations where people are going to different states, they're looking at different deal types, land, MLS, this, that, all in an effort to do a deal. And I get that. I get I have the shiny mentality problem myself. But you came to us for a recipe, and we have a recipe that works. All we need is you to get the sellers in the door. We've given you data in self-storage. We've given you data in residential. We've given you calling tools. We've given you batch leads. We've given you all this stuff, and everyone's doing great. No, not negative at all. But we're trying to set up a system for how to use it. And especially as we roll into a flat rate brokerage model, where if you're a licensee, you're only going to pay $800 per closing. So if you get licensed, come on with Gorilla, you're going to make a lot more. Again, all of this comes down to doing deals that make money. And there's two things that I see a lot. One is, we've said when you get a seller on the phone, dial us in. No one does that. We've given the questions, and then when stuff is submitted, it's only part of the information. Best example yet, and I think I brought it up, was somebody submitted a deal from a guy in, I forget where the property was. I think it was Ohio. Multi-unit portfolio. One of the units that I can remember was, what's the condition? Rough condition. Because the seller said, well, it's rentable, but barely. Okay, well, rough condition, that needed to be followed up on. Needed to be followed up on, like what works, what doesn't. Electrical, plumbing, heating, roof, windows, cosmetics, all the things that are in our questions list. And it was great when I got on the phone with the student and the seller. We zipped through all this stuff. The guy knew this stuff off the top of his head, but the questions were never asked, or they weren't followed up on. Well, it's in rough shape. So rough shape's what went in the system. And when the system analyzes that, that was a $150,000 rehab. When I got when we got off the phone with the seller and I reran the numbers, it was like a $50,000 rehab, a big swing from point A to point B. And by the way, I will send out to you now, I forgot to, a response to the seller because I just forgot it yesterday. But this is where the questions and the information is important, because rough full rehab isn't enough to tell the system what to do. So the system says, oh, rough must mean, no plumbing, no electrical, no this, no that. We need to know those questions. We need to know conditions of what is going on. We also need to, get some evaluation. And again, this is where nothing's wrong, but you guys got to get us on the phone. Because I said to the seller, I said, we're chit-chatting, going back and forth. And listen, where do you need to be on these properties? Oh, well, I could never let these go for less than $250,000. You have to understand where they're located. They're near the university. They're near the park. They're near, it's a wonderful city. Da 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 da. Okay, those are all great things. How much do things rent for down there? How about $1,400? Okay, so as a landlord, I know I can't buy them. I can't pay you $250,000 and collect a rent of $1,400. I'll be losing a couple $1,000s a month. No. This is for an end buyer who wants to move in and live there. Okay, great. Well, that's a realtor conversation. I'm not an Ohio realtor. I don't have those buyers. And if you're looking to get retail numbers, we're not on the same page. And what I'm saying is, these are things that when you listen to us do the calls with you, you'll eventually pick up on how the calls need to go. And then you'll eventually say, hey, Steve, I get it. I know what I need to do. I get it. No problem. I get how to banter around. I get how to divert when they don't quite want to go there. Or all that. It's also important when you're submitting your files to us on a level of, what are the comps? Don't just say comps are 50 to 150. Okay. What's 50 and what's 150? What's the condition of 50? How big is it? How well does it compare? All that stuff. And Alex, you can go to the YouTube and watch it over there too. I see you kind of having internet trouble. I'm not sure why. I really wish I had an answer. You might want to look at StreamYard's stuff, tutorials, and see if they can help you. Because other people get on here on a regular basis. I'm not quite sure. I don't know how to help. If you tell me what you're seeing on your side, I'll try to help you. But like, comps 50 to 150. No, that's not what I want. I want to see links to the comps, addresses, pictures. I want you to describe to me that for 50,000 you get one less bedroom and it's all broken and nothing works. For 150,000 you get one extra bedroom and everything is beautiful and looks like the Taj Mahal. Okay, first of all, those aren't really comps because they're not the same. But okay, knowing that gives me a lot more to go on. What are the rents in the area? Well, I see 500 to 1900. Okay, give me more. Because the system can't properly evaluate, and we can't properly evaluate if we don't have those tools that are the tools of you collecting the information. What does Zillow say about the property? What's the flood zone? What's the neighborhood like? What's realtors say about the property? What does PropStream say about the property? Show me that. Give me the links. Give me the PDFs. Show me. So the system can process it through. And that's the biggest thing. But the most important thing, guys, and this is the most boring part, you got to be out there every day reaching out to new sellers. Nair has picked, I don't know if he's exclusively picked, but he's substantially picked self-storage as a market. Great, wonderful. You found me some great things, Nair. We haven't locked the one that works yet, but hopefully we work something out with this guy in Ohio. In fact, actually, I want to take a look at what we have there. All right, I'll revisit that before I send it. But focusing on that area is great, and that's the biggest thing. There's two biggest things that make it hard for me. It's when I don't hear from people for weeks. I don't know what you're doing, and I don't know how to help you. I don't know how to guide you. Be here on these calls, or call me once a day or every couple of days. Fill me in on where you're at, because I can't steer you if I don't know where you're sailing. I can't help you guide and focus on something. I got to follow up with Will. It's been actually a couple of weeks, Will. We got to get back together here. But he's wanting to focus on land. I have some great needs on that. Or he wants to work with developers. Great. What's been going on? Because that's an area he's never done before. I have. Get me in those conversations. Set up those appointments with me. Get me meeting with your team. Otherwise, I can't help. I want very much to be the guy that is in the back of the deal, managing and helping. I don't want to be the guy, I don't want to do the deal instead of you. I want to do the deal with you. I really need you to help with that.